Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to this Hall of Fame induction. Thank you all for coming. In line with university regulations, we have asked people to wear face masks, so thank you to everyone who is doing that. It's 2 years, over 2 years, since we last had a Hall of Fame induction for fairly obvious reasons, but it's really thrilling that we can start them again, and the one we have lined up this morning is pretty special, as I think we're all aware. So without more ado, I'm going to invite our Vice-Chancellor to make the formal induction of David McNulty into the Hall of Fame for sport. Ian.
Well, thank you so much indeed, and may I also add my sincere thanks to all of you for coming today. Recognising actually that not only within the organisation, the university, do we have senior representatives and those who've excelled in all sorts of ways in sport and other aspects of university life, but also we have senior representatives from other organisations, in particular British Swimming. We are so grateful to all of you for attending and for all you do to make the university and sport within it so special. For me, of course, this is a very special occasion, as I regard it a great privilege simply to be asked to honour a most wonderful person who I've come to respect enormously since I've come back to Bath, namely David McNulty. When you meet David, known university of course as Dave, you cannot fail to be struck by his energy and enthusiasm for what he does, but also for his focus on the job at hand. The pandemic, of course, has presented so many challenges for the hugely impressive group of swimmers and indeed other sports people based here at the STV. Not only in terms of swimmers for the training group, but also the individual elite swimmers and others. But needless to say, Dave's response has been remarkable, overcoming all that was put in front of him, supported by colleagues from British Swimming, as well as, of course, the extraordinary determination of swimmers themselves, alongside all those that were crucial in supporting them and giving their success. Together, the Swimming Performance Unit demonstrated that they're not simply just one of the very best in the country, but actually in the whole world. And of course, this makes us, and certainly me, very proud of you indeed. Medals subsequently flowed in Tokyo, and what joy they brought, as I'm sure that memories flood back for all of us of waking early to see more medals added daily to the tally, unless of course we've been up overnight. Tokyo 2020 proved to be an extraordinary games for the National Centre Bath, with both Tom Dean and James Guy being crowned as double Olympic champions. Frey Anderson also won relay gold. James Guy added a relay silver, while Callum Jarvis and Matt Richards, part of Joel Fink's training group at the National Centre, were also relay gold medalists. All those successes led to Dave McNulty being rightly, of course, named as Coach of the Year in the 2021 Team GB Awards. Such successes are remarkable, but of course weren't his first. There have been many before, such as 14 years ago, with Joe Jackson winning a Beijing bronze before Dave then moved to Bath and took up his role here. And since, many swimmers have been involved in European and World Championships, Commonwealth Games successes, and there have been previous Olympic medals. For example, Michael Jameson in 2012, and Siobhan Marie O'Connor and Jazz Carlin in 2016. At the university, we are of course proud of those who have simultaneously studied here, knowing just how hard it is to balance studies with performance sport. And we hope we continue to support the dreams of swimmers who have aspirations to excel not only through scholarship provision, but also as being as flexible and helpful as we can in helping these amazing people across the academic as well as the sporting finishing lines. At Bath, we have high standards for those whom we induct into our University of Bath Hall of Fame for sport. According to the criteria, it's not enough to be a great athlete or a great coach, but there's also a need to show support of our community of sport here and to be proactive in improving the environment. Over the past 14 years, Dave has always been proactive in suggesting those improvements that have made such a difference, praising those around him, including our own staff, who help support his swimmers, and in promoting our sporting environment nationally and internationally. David, thank you so much for all that you have done and continue to do, not just for your swimmers, but for sport here at Bath and in Great Britain. I have no hesitation, therefore, inviting you to be the 29th inductee in our Hall of Fame for sport. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ian. We have now 3 more speakers. Next up will be the Chief Executive of British Swimming, Jack Buckner. He'll be followed by Tom Dean, double Olympic gold medalist, who's going to speak on behalf of the training group. And then finally, of course, we're going to hear from the man himself and ask Dave to say a few words in response. So first up, over to Jack.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor, and thank you, everyone. I love coming down to Bath, and whenever I speak to Dave, he goes, I love it down here, it's amazing, and I keep on expecting him to say, but it's not the northeast, but he doesn't. So I've come to the conclusion that you must have made him very welcome down here, because to get someone from the northeast to settle in the south is quite an achievement. So thanks to all of you for everything you do as well at the university. Dave was recruited here in 2008 and he's been here ever since. The Vice-Chancellor has mentioned already some of the performances, and I'll just spend a little bit more time on them. The squad's grown, so we now got a squad of 12 UK sport invested athletes in the group. And it's really gone from strength to strength with every Olympics. And for me, that's the sign of a healthy system that starts off small and it grows organically and continues to grow. The Vice-Chancellor's mentioned the success Dave's had, individual success at the Games. He mentioned about Joe Jackson, Michael Jameson, and my statisticians tell me that in his silver medal, he managed to improve a second each round in 2012, and to me that's the mark of a great athlete and a great coach, that they can do it when it matters. And that's another thing I think about Dave. He knows how to get people ready at the right time, and getting people ready at the right time in sport is incredibly difficult, so that's an amazing achievement. In Rio, Jazz Carlin, 2 silver medals, Siobhan Marie O'Connor, silver, Chris Walker-Hebden, silver, and then of course the amazing success this year from Tom, James Guy, Freya Anderson, and also within the changing group, Matt Richards and Callum Jarvis. Dave has had swimmers on the Olympic teams of the last 6 Olympics, and a stat I got which I think is incredible, is that across all the major championships, so Commonwealth, European, World and Olympics, his swimmers have won a total of 111 medals by 14 athletes, and that breaks down to 78 at long course senior meets and 33 at short course senior meets. So that's quite incredible achievement. So those are the stats, but I think more important is Dave the man, and I think he's just a great coach, and probably for some of his swimmers, it's not just the coaching, it's what he brings them and how he supports them. And the great thing about Dave is you have that sense he's always there for his swimmers, that whatever's happening in his life, the swimmers are there in his head. And I think that's so important for an elite athlete, when they know there's someone there for them, there's someone who really cares for them, and is a continual source of inspiration, wisdom and humour. And I think just coming here again, you can just feel that when you go down to the pool and see what's going on, and just you can feel the energy, and he's helped make this place an incredibly special place. We're incredibly proud of Dave, and we're incredibly proud of our swimmers at British Swimming, and delighted with the relationship here. So congratulations, Dave. It's great to see all your great work, and let's keep it going for many years ahead. Thank you very much.
Yep. Is that good? Yeah, perfect. So I was asked to say a few words about Dave, and say what it's like to be coached by him, and speak from the perspective of the athletes, and also tell a few of his stories. I think if you know Dave, you know that there are more stories than I could possibly include in this short space of time, and some that probably aren't appropriate for this space of time. So instead I'll just talk about what it's like to be coached by Dave, and my experience as an athlete. So I joined the centre in 2018 when I was just 18 years old, and I didn't know it at the time, but I was embarking on a journey from being an age group swimmer, coming from a small club programme, all the way up to being an Olympic champion 3 years later. And what I can see now, and what I've learned over those years, is that Dave was with me every single step of the way on that journey, and looking back on it, I can appreciate how incredible that was. I think there's three main attributes that I can think of, and I've been considering over the last few days, that make Dave such a great coach from an athlete's standpoint. I think the first is his incredible breadth and depth of knowledge and experience within the sport. Like Jack said, Dave's been around for so many years, and he's been to so many Olympic Games. As an athlete and a student of the sport, being able to tap into that knowledge is absolutely incredible. And I love hearing stories about Olympic Games gone by, and hearing about races that he's got to watch that I can only now watch on YouTube, from Olympic Games, from the Rome World Championships in '09, which was incredible if you remember it, and it's great to be able to hear these stories. And I think that gives you faith in the training programme, knowing that he's taken so many different athletes to Olympic glory, and it allows you to commit harder to the training, and I think that's really important. I think the second attribute that I think is great is Dave's attentiveness and his care for his athletes. Dave always jokes that he's our coach, but he's also our nutritionist and our psychologist, our physio and our S&C, and I think it's true that you can approach him with any question, be it in or out the pool, and any query that you may have, just generally in life. When we have our big one-on-one meetings, we talk about the process we're going through in the water, the plan for the year, but then we kind of park that and we talk about life, and we talk about everything else around it. And I think it's that whole package that you get with Dave. I know he takes his coaching home with him, and he thinks about it, and he's always on the ball. He lives and breathes this sport, and that's so important as an athlete to know that you've got that there. Finally, and I think most importantly, and something that I've really learned in the last year, is how important Dave's prowess and presence within the arena is. On the world stage, you know, some people crumble. The arena can kind of get the better of them, and I think when Dave walks out in Olympic Games, he's so comfortable, so confident, and that confidence is infectious, and his swimmers really pick up on it. I think that's absolutely vital. Dave always says an Olympic Games is too big to take on by yourself. You've got to have a team around you, and with Dave kind of heading up that team, makes you feel so much more relaxed. You feel at home in the arena, and I think that's so important for something like an Olympic Games. I think if there's one story that I can tell and kind of encapsulate all of this, it's when I was going up for my 200 freestyle final, like was discussed earlier. The biggest race of my life. I was heading up in Tokyo for this final, and I've got everything running through my mind. You know, the next 5 minutes will dictate the next 10, 20 years of my life. It's the biggest race of my life. And Dave walked me up to the call room, and he always says you can look in an athlete's eye and tell whether they're ready. So he looked me in the eye, and I like to think I looked ready, but he just said, you are completely ready for this. You've done all the training. this race is yours for the taking. And that's all I needed to hear, really. That just calmed my nerves. That made me confident. I knew I had this great relationship and these years of hard work behind me, and it just completely calmed my nerves. And I was so ready to go and attack the race at that point. And we went out there and we won gold. And Dave's first Olympic gold, which was an incredible feeling. And for all those reasons and all those attributes, I don't think there's anyone more deserving of this award than my coach Dave. Thank you.
Put this down a little bit. Alright, thanks everybody. And listen, you know what a story Tom's just told us. I remember meeting with him and his mum, I think in 2018, over there on one of the tables. And I promised her I would look after him. I promised her I would get the best out of him. I also promised her that I would get him to university, which we haven't managed to do yet. But I've still got a note in my book to make sure we do. He got 1 year in, but then life changed, and we'll get back at it, because a promise is a promise. And I just think, listen to somebody like that, you know, just how proud I am about the person, and not just the athlete in the pool. You know, he stands here and he addresses the crowd just unbelievably well. And it is about coaching the man, and it's about training the event when it comes to coaching. What I mean by that is, in the pool, we do all the training that's involved in his event. He's 200 free or he's 100 free, but it's about the person outside, how his behaviours are, how he projects himself, and what a proud moment it is to listen to somebody like that after 4 years of coaching him. Absolutely amazing. And to be honest, we had a little fallout a few weeks ago. First one, really big one ever. There's only been two. One was small. He apologised for that and we moved on. He knows which one I'm on about. And we fell out just the other week over something. It was nothing. And me being very stubborn, worried about probably the second day of not speaking really. And we got about the third day, and he knocked on my door and he asked for a meeting to put it right. And I just thought, wow, what an amazing guy. He's done it before me. It should be my job to get him to put it right. But he got in first. And again, he apologised, put it right and moved on. But no, I didn't. It was probably my fault actually, Dino. I'll tell him now. It was my fault. But I tell you what, for somebody like that to knock on your door and try and put it right is just amazing. So well done, Dino. Listen, I want to say a few thank yous. Thank yous, Vice-Chancellor. You know, it's your building I walk into and it's your STV. I absolutely love it. There's no better place for me in the world to walk in. I said that from day one. I absolutely love it. And it's an honour and a privilege to work here, it really is. Jack, thanks for the kind words. I mean, them stats you read out were just amazing. And you asked us how many I thought, and I probably would have said about 45. So for it to be over 100 is just, you know, amazing. And do you know what you said? I've said enough, outstanding. Stephen, thanks for putting this together. You know, I've walked in here since 2008, and I think after about 4 years, I started seeing the pillars of the Hall of Fame, and I started seeing all of them faces, and I always thought, oh, one day I would love to be part of it. So thank you very much. It's a great honour, it really is. What works here? It's partnership. It's partnership between the university and the STV, and everything that brings. You know, if I need something, I see people and it gets done. It's as simple as that. And the partnership from British Swimming for investing in this place. I think this is an amazing place. What a city, what a university. And the STV is just outstanding. I've been to a lot of venues around the world, and I've never been into a place that feels and is like this, with so many different sports under one roof, so many coaches. It absolutely oozes performance, and I've never got sick of that from 2008. So, unbelievable place to work. The other thing I want to say is the people who work day to day. People like yourself, it's amazing. Everything that I need done for high performance excellence, I get. And that's from everywhere, day to day, from coming in here, on the pool side, seeing Stephen's crew, British swimming crew that I've got behind us, and I've got an unbelievable batch of swimmers at the minute who just make my life just easy. They're a pleasure to work with, and it's unbelievable. I can't stress the day-to-day people that allow me to coach how I need to coach. So thank you everybody for that. I think COVID really showed us for them 2 years where we lost 10 weeks of coming in here, and to be honest, after 10 weeks we got back, and we got there by a strict policy, return to training, protocols we had to follow. And honestly, if that agreement hadn't been made, I think it would have been too late to really get back on it in time for the games. And we would have seen swimmers' Olympic journeys just faded away because they wouldn't have been able to do it. So we got back after that 10 weeks and we had 10 sessions, we had all the gym, and it allowed us to prepare properly for an Olympic Games. And I never wanted to take my eye off performance in that build-up. I wanted to feel it, I wanted it to be normal. It was different, but I didn't want anybody's Olympic dream to fall apart because we never put the day-to-day together. So we did. We went to the Olympic Games and it was unbelievable. And for us at Bath to come back with 7 gold and a silver is just beyond my dreams. And it was outstanding and I absolutely loved it. Now this has been going since 2008 and we've done 3 Olympic Games here. And I think we've got 13 Olympic golds and it just doesn't stop. It's a legacy that I want to keep going for certainly another Olympics or even beyond that. And I want more medals for Bath. I want more medals for British swimming. I want to do it here at Bath University. And I can't be wanting to be anywhere else. So thank you for the award and thank you for everything for Bath. Cheers.
I think that's given us a real insight into the man. Both we heard about his record, we heard from Tom how he is as a coach, and just listening today, you get a real sense of that energy and passion that he brings to this place every day. So I'd just like to finish off by thanking British Swimming for being here and bringing us such an outstanding coach. Thank you to the swimmers for their fantastic efforts as well. Dave, we try to deliver for all the performance programs here and all our customers, but Dave gets everything he wants because he's so supportive. He has such a good relationship, and I know I speak for all my staff here today that you are just a joy to work with and deal with, and we just love having you here, love having you part of the environment, and we'll continue to do everything we can to support you and support British swimming. So thanks to everybody. We're going to do a few photos now. See if we could finish off just with another round of applause for David McNulty.